Welcome once again to Commander by Danon. Today's video was brought to us by Patreon supporter Exiled Rogue. Huge thanks to Exiled Rogue and the rest of my Patreon supporters. Exiled Rogue reached out asking for an update to his landfall deck led by Smeagol Helpful Guide, and I was more than happy to help him out. But before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Smeagol Helpful Guide is a 3-mana 4/2 legendary halfling horror. At the beginning of our end step, if a creature died under our control this turn, the ring tempts us. Additionally, whenever the ring tempts us, target opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a land card. We then put that card onto the battlefield tapped under our control, and the rest into their graveyard. In other words, so long as we're being tempted by the ring, Smeagol will helpfully get us lands. Sure, they may not be our lands, but lands are always nice. We just have to tempt poor Smeagol with the precious. But what are we going to do with all those lands? If only there was something we could do with all the cards in our opponent's graveyards. But more than that, we want a functional commander deck, and for that, we turn to our handy-dandy checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. As I'm sure you've heard by now, this channel is sponsored by Ultimate Guard. For the past few years, Ultimate Guard has been hard at work finding ways to protect your cards without damaging the planet, and they have discovered it. Boulders, once made entirely of plastic, are now made of 87% renewable resources. They also come in a variety of sizes, including this new 133 card box. If you're like me, you have a ton of decks, want a little bit of space for your tokens in your deck boxes, and don't want those boxes filling up an entire suitcase, then this box is the perfect solution. Find out if your local game store carries the new Return to Earth boulders from Ultimate Guard, or click on the link down below to order yourself one from Amazon. One more thing before we get started. I've been streaming Final Fantasy XIV over on my other channel, Musings by Danon. If you want to pop in and ask some questions, chat about Commander, or just hang out, you're more than welcome to. For right now, the schedule is Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays in the evening. Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Verdant Catacombs, Llanowar Wastes, Tainted Wood, Temple of Malady, Golgari Guildgate, Grim Backwoods, Bajuka Bog, Scavenger Grounds, Myriad Landscape, Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, Broker's Hideout, Cabaretti Courtyard, Maestro's Theater, Obscura Storefront, Riveteer's Overlook, Golgari Rot Farm, 9 swamps, and 9 forests make up the land base for this deck. Inherited Envelope, Druid Class, Lotus Cobra, Tireless Provisioner, Azusa Lost But Seeking, Conduit of Worlds, Dryad of the Elysian Grove, Exploration, Oracle of Moldiah, Wayward Swordtooth, Ramanup Excavator, and Crucible of Worlds help us to stay ahead of the curve. Sidisi Undead Vizier, Sam's Desperate Rescue, Split the Spoils, Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, Animate Dead, Call of the Ring, Compost, Oversold Cemetery, and Tireless Tracker all help us to dig through our deck or pull stuff out of graveyards. Cankerbloom, Chain Devil, Dayuthi Voidwalker, Demon's Disciple, Foundation Breaker, Gravelighter, Junji the Midnight Sky, Shriekmaw, Claim the Precious, and Kalani Ambush help to keep our opponents in line. In Garrick's Wake, The Black Breath, and Portal to Phyrexia are all great board wipes. Now, some may be expensive, but what else are we going to spend our mana on? Dunedain Rangers, Gollum Patient Plotter, 7 copies of Nazgul, Skewed Swarm, Sir Conrad the Grim, Uruk-hai Berserker, Breach the Multiverse, Bombadil's Song, Blade of Selves, Shortcut to Mushrooms, Avenger of Zendikar, Greensleeves Morrow Sorcerer, Clonny Heart Expedition, Ob-Nixilis the Fallen, Rampaging Baloths, Retreat to Hagra, Zendikar's Royal, and Kodama of the East Tree make up the core of our deck. Supporting our plan, we've also got Sepulchral Primordial, Shieldred, Rise of the Dark Realms, and From the Catacombs. Now that we have our deck list, let's compare it to our checklist. 50 mana sources split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, counting our commander. 9 pieces of card advantage, 10 pieces of interaction, 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate in Bojuka Bog and Scavenger Grounds, 1 Sudden I Win card in Rise of the Dark Realms. When you have a commander that not only mills your opponents but steals their lands, I figured having a card that steals all the creatures out of their graveyards would also be a great idea. Now, some of you are wondering why I don't have an Aristocrats package in the deck. That's because Exiled Rogue already has a Golgari Aristocrats deck in Marin of Clan Neltoth. He asked that this deck more focus on landfall rather than Aristocrats. Now, you can absolutely build Smeagol Helpful Guide as an Aristocrats deck, but that's not how my patron wanted to build the deck. So we took out most of the sacrifice effects and focused on landfall instead. And with cards like Retreat to Hagra and Ob-Nixilis the Fallen, not only do we get to steal our opponent's lands, we can hurt them even more. After all, their lands were really a birthday present meant for us, precious. Do you have a Smeagol Helpful Guide deck? What direction did you take your deck? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. One of the tiers is specifically set up for Commander. For only $25, I will build you a custom Commander deck based around your specifications, and even do a deck video on it. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Buffins, Marcus, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Josh, Sean, Pob Zombie, Mark, Alex, Daniel, Steve, Kevin, Alex, Cookie, Borgie, Jake, Exiled Rogue, Manassas, Nazwin, Oolong, and Pedro. You guys are awesome. I post new Commander deck videos often, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're a fan of anime and manga like I am, feel free to check out my other channel, Musings by Danon. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.